What is up, guys? It's gonna be a little bit of a different video today. I'm gonna be talking way more about my philosophy and my mindset on why I train the way I train, why I do the things that I do in the gym, and why I think it's the best approach overall to your fitness. So if you don't know like my backstory, I've been in the gym for 5 years now. I started in February of 2021, and like the first year in the gym, it was very easy to make progress, very easy to make those newbie gains that everyone gets. And once you hit those, you kind of unlock like the intermediate phase where you have to be a lot more precise, a lot more intentional with your training and the precision, the inputs that you put in to get a certain outcome from that. So I was basically doing all the things that are really common in fitness, and there's a lot of like opposing viewpoints in fitness. But I think like for me, like the kind of philosophy that I have is you really want to focus on finding the fundamental truths of making progress, like the first principles, biological level truth of muscle growth, of recovery, of fat loss, how that works in the body, how that works with your human biology. And if you can look basically like under the hood of what's going on with all the processes that happen, like when you go lift, when there's muscle contraction in the body, what's happening at a biological level, such as like the GLUT4 translocates to the cell membrane when you want to have the most amount of your carbs post workout. There's the insulin sensitivity, the nutrient partitioning, all these certain biological principles I have now applied to my training and really the system that I teach on this channel to obviously help you guys as well to make the best progress in fitness that you can, because you cannot beat a system that works with the biological truth. Like there's a certain truth to training, there's a certain truth to growing muscle, there's a certain truth to losing fat and keeping muscle, and it all works as a system. And if you can understand that system, the truth of the biology that God made our bodies to be used, like how they should be used, like in a system, then you cannot beat that. It's literally impossible to beat that way of training, that way of eating, and having precision in what you're doing, because there's nothing better than that. Like you cannot beat truth, because that just is like its bottom line is the fundamental. So if you can understand that, then you can make the best progress. And I think like for me personally, like I was going to the gym for over 4 years before I even started learning about these things with biology and like the precision inputs that I teach now. And I was just frustrated with my results. There's so much information online, and a lot of it like opposes each other. A lot of it contradicts certain things that you might hear online, but they don't come back to the biological truth. And I think if you go to the gym consistently like I was, it's almost stupid to not learn these things. It's stupid to stay ignorant to the truths of what works, because for me, I'm in the gym for my whole life. Like I want to be like 70 years old, 80 years old, 100 years old, healthy, feeling good, strong, in the gym, like actually living a good life for the rest of my life. So if I know that I'm going to be going to the gym for decades to come, then it's so stupid to stay ignorant of these things. That's like one of the main things that I do with my life. Like I take the gym pretty seriously. I love going to the gym because it's changed my life. Fitness has changed the man that I've become, because if you don't know my story, like I grew up super self-conscious. I was even deformed as a kid. I had a chest deformity where my sternum bone would just stick out, and I just didn't develop properly. I also had hypothyroidism, which I still do to this day. It has regressed a bit, so I don't really deal with the symptoms right now, but it affected me a lot in my life. And that was kind of the main reason that I started to obsess about health, nutrition, all these certain biological things in the body, because I just knew I had to understand the truth. I knew there was a certain truth to how our body, reacts to certain things, and we can use that, kind of exploit it to get the best progress in the gym, build more muscle, lose more fat in a more effective way, not doing more efforts, because I was in that trap of doing more effort and not getting the most effective results from that, but finding those precise inputs, like I say, to make the most effective progress. Like the body is just a system. You put inputs into the system and you will get a certain outcome from that based on the variables that you put into it, right? It's like anything in life that extrapolates to everything, not just fitness. It could be with work, with business, with life, relationships, whatever. Whatever you put into the system, the inputs you're putting in will always get you a certain outputs in life. It's Newton's third law that you cannot beat, like fundamental physics and biology. And if you can understand that and apply that to your training, to your nutrition, to the timing of when you're doing certain things, like I teach in my videos, like I go very in depth into like those presentations that I make because I'm very passionate about these things because they've genuinely changed my life. They've saved me so much time. Like I've only been applying my system for the past 9 to 10 months. I started back in May of 2025. And at that point I had been in the gym for over 4 years, like 4.25 years in May of 2025. And the amount of progress that I've made is insane. Like it's night and day difference because I'm not as big as I could be. I've made so many mistakes in the gym in the past, like crash dieting, doing dirty bulks, like just getting impatient with my progress and not understanding things truly, always changing things. Like I didn't have like a certain plan system that I can just follow step by step, which is what I give my clients now. It's the best approach. Like, you cannot beat it because it just works at a fundamental truth. You cannot beat the truth. And that's why I train the way that I trained. If you can understand these things and just start applying them, you can change certain things with how you time your meals, have certain macronutrients in order of each other, micronutrients, get the actual proper stimulus in the gym. There's so many different things that go into the system. But once you understand it, it's not more effort that goes in. It's just precision with the inputs that get that, highly effective outcome, highly effective outputs from what you're doing. So that's really what you have to understand. That's really the unbeatable system that you pretty much have to follow if you want to make the best progress, if you want to see the results in the gym. And if you've tried other things before and they haven't worked, there's obviously a reason for that. Like you should be making progress if you're doing the right things. Your efforts should not be wasted. And my efforts were being wasted for many years. And you just have to find the truth. It's like I'm very passionate about this. Like I genuinely think all these systems, all these fundamental truths are so important to get right, and a lot of people overlook them. Things like insulin sensitivities, knowing when to eat macros to spike insulin at certain times in the day, all these different things. There's a lot of depth that goes into it. It's not surface level calories in, calories out. That is, the fundamental, obviously, but there's so much more depth. There's so much more understanding you must have, especially if you want to make this a long-term thing. Like I was saying earlier, it's just stupid to stay ignorant of these things. So it's probably like in your best interest, it's in your duty to learn these things. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do want to work with me, I'll leave the link in the description. I give you guys pretty much step-by-step systems you can just apply to your life using everything that I teach. If in my videos, if you've seen my presentations, then you know how valuable they truly are. I'm basically giving you guys the implementable, just step-by-step. You don't have to think about it. You understand everything into your plan, so you can just execute on the fundamental truths of everything. So I'll leave it at that. Hope you guys enjoyed this. See you guys in the next one.